What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's Riley Knox, and I, in case you can see from the title, am back with a list of things that I thought I would just share with you guys today. These are the top 8 things, because there's 8 that I could think of. One an even number, but for now, the top 8 things that I would never do on a first date. Now, you guys know I'm transgender, and for me, safety on a first date is priority. And I think, I'm there to have a good time, and I'm there to, in hopes of, meeting the guy that I'm going to be with or whatever, or just having fun, whatever. But no matter what, these are the top 8 things that I would absolutely never do on a first date or for a first date. So stick around, check it out, but subscribe first, okay? All right, here we go. All right. So the first thing that I would never do, ever do, is go on a date with a guy who didn't know that I was transgender. Disclosure is every single thing. I have to say that is like the top thing. When I was not so proud of who I was and young and dumb, I went on dates with guys, didn't tell them that I was transgender. They either figured out later or I told them later. That's not good for either one of us. It makes me look like quite a shitty person, and also makes, it takes away their free will, but also it puts me in a very dangerous situation. I think you guys have all, I think I've told you a story of how I was almost killed before, and if not, I will tag it in the video below. But yeah, I just it's a scary thing to go on a date with a guy who doesn't know your truth and is, could possibly hurt you if he finds out. See, I'm even cringing trying to talk about this because it's a very like kind of hard thing to talk about. When I think back in my head of the times that I didn't tell guys and how horrible that could have been. But let me just keep this light, all right? So that's the number one thing. Always tell them before we go on a date, not when we get on the date, not after we've been on the date, from day one. You need to know what I am before you know who I am. And then you can decide whether you want to continue on with me. And most of the times guys do, but at least they have the choice, all right? All right. The second thing that I would never do is I would never, ever meet a guy in my home for the first time or in his home for the first time. Never. I'm not going to his place to meet. And it's so funny because I know this happens to cisgender women. I know this happens to biological women. Like, this is not just a transgender woman thing. A guy's going to try. Like, he'll say, oh, instead of going out, I'm more of a homebody, or, I could come over and bring a bottle of wine and we can get to know each other. Or you want to come over to my place? I'm cooking tonight. You want to come over? No, absolutely not. It's so dangerous, absolutely dangerous. You guys heard me say in my last video, things that guys do that come off predatorial. Saying to a woman that you want to meet her in her home or your home or invite her over, it comes off a little predatorial. Because then the red flag goes this might not be safe. And also, it's not really safe for him. I never think, meeting a woman at her house, you don't know if I got people there waiting in a closet, waiting to, come out and just beat you up. That's, or rob you or whatever. I've heard horror stories about things like this from guys. So, yeah, I would absolutely never meet a guy in my home or his home. The third thing that I would never do on a first date kind of goes with the second thing. I would never let a guy pick me up from my house. I think I told you guys this story before about how I let a guy pick me up from my house, and it turned into sexual harassment. It could have been very scary. He knew where I lived. It's just not a good idea to have a guy pick you up. I will always say, and I've had guys say, oh, I'll pick you up if you want, it's on the way, or you live, I can come pick you up, it's fine. Nope, it's okay. I will meet you at the restaurant. I don't care. I don't drive. A lot of you guys may or may not know this. I don't drive. I'm driven everywhere I go. There's no place in the world that I cannot get to. As long as there's money, I can get to anywhere in the world. So you will not be picking me up for a first date, because I got picked up for a first date one time and it scarred me. I was 38 years old, knew way better than to let a guy pick me up. And It was weird, it was strange, it was traumatizing, and that video is somewhere here on my page also, but we don't need to go into detail. Just don't do it. It's not smart. Don't let a guy pick you up, because then he knows where you live. All right. Continuing on, the fourth thing. Always meet in a public place. I would never not meet a guy in a public place. Now, when I say that, meaning a place that no one is around. I already said, like, not meet you in your house, but like a secluded area, you know? Like, we're either meeting at a restaurant, a bar, a park where that's heavily populated and not dark at night. Like, that's like, it doesn't. And my thing is like, okay, I get it. You may not want to invest in a woman yet to take her to a place that is expensive and wine and dine her, but it should definitely be a public place. Like, why are you meeting someone in a place that's secluded and weird and all this stuff? It's fine. I'll buy my own drink if I have to. You know, we can meet in a park. You know, I'm fine with that. You know, I'm not asking you to wine and dine me, but it will definitely be in a public place so that in case something happens or in case he turns out to be weird, I feel safe and there are people around, right? The fifth thing that I would never do on a first date, and this is so key, I would never leave my home with less than 50% battery life in my phone. If it's not at least 50% charged, I'm not leaving my house yet. And what's more is, like, usually I like it more than 50%, but at least 50%, and also have a power bank or a cord somewhere that you can, like, because you may not be able to even plug in your phone. A power bank is key, not just the cord. Because you don't know what may happen. You may get stranded, or you may, like, you know, and here's the thing, you also need to call yourself an Uber home, or, you know, like, it's just, if you took an Uber there, you do not want to leave your house with less than 50% because your phone is key. And if you have your location turned on, for a lot of people that have their locations turned on, for your friends or family so they know where you are, like, have your phone on 50%. Have at least 50% in your phone, just in case you need to make a phone call, a text, whatever. Which leads me to the sixth thing that I would never do on a first date. I would absolutely never go on a date without telling someone, at least one person. You don't have to have everybody in your business, but I would never leave my house without telling at least one person that I'm going on a date. Because somebody, you come up missing, they're gonna be like, well, who was the last person? I didn't talk to her today, or, oh, I don't know. At least one person knows where I am. Sometimes they may even know, like, if like, one of my friends will say to me, he'll be like, okay, send me a picture of him, because I know you got a picture. If you met him online, send me a picture of what he looks like. Where are you going? Where are you meeting him at? And let me know when you got home. Let me know when, and sometimes they'll even text me like, you okay? And I'll go to the bathroom and respond or whatever. But I will always let them know that I got home safe, and always let them know where I am. If your location's not on, like, I don't have locations on, and I don't even know how to do that, but someone always knows my location, at least one person. Even if everybody doesn't know where I'm going, they know. And they usually have a picture of the guy, his name, whatever, for sure. Another thing that I never do, this is we're at the seventh thing. Seventh thing that I would never do is have more than 2 drinks on a date. You know your limitations. If you drink, you know how much you can drink. I would never get drunk on a first date for him to be like, oh yeah, you know, I've seen stories of this, like, oh, the girl gets super drunk, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, oh, I got her, this is my girlfriend, let me put her in the car. Meanwhile, he doesn't even know the girl. Meanwhile, she didn't come there with him. She's it's like basically being drugged. Like, you know, he didn't drug her, but like he's walking her out. I have this particular thing. I will have 1 drink on a first date, but I typically like to get to the bar before. I sometimes go to a bar that I've been to before that's like, you know, like they know me there, and the bartender is usually somebody I know there, and they know that I don't have more than 1 drink. I've been to the restroom before, and a guy tried to order me another drink, and the bartender will say to me, she's like, shout out to Jennifer, she will say, oh, she only has 1. She only has 1. And I've had the guy come back from the restroom, and the guy goes, So I tried to get you another drink, but she says that you only have one. I'm like, yep, that's it. Sorry, I'm one and done. Because I refuse to feel tipsy to the point where I am not in control of my body and what's going on in the situation, whether I'm going home on my own, whatever. I don't need that in my life. So definitely will not let that happen. All right, so the 8th thing I would never do, and this goes back to the 2nd thing. I never let a guy drop me off at home. Like, you don't need to know where I live. That's the number one thing. Don't pick me up, don't drop me off. That's it. Like it's just not happening. Some of these, like I don't even need to spend that much time on this one. But like some of this is just kind of like self-explanatory. And let's just be clear here. I'm a transgender woman, and I'm saying this from my perspective as a trans woman, but cisgender or biological women, these are good tips for you also. I mean, obviously you don't have to disclose that you're transgender or that you're cisgender, but all the other things on here, yeah, I mean, those are things that you should just not do as a woman on a first date. I'm not judging you if you do, but please be cautious. For me, these are the things that have worked for me as someone who's been dating for 20 years. I feel like safety is the number one thing, as I said before. So anyway, thank you for watching. I would love for you guys to jot down in the comments if you have a tip that might help somebody, or how you feel about this list. Talk to me. Let's get into a discussion. If you have some tips that for other people, this could save somebody's life. This could, you know, it's just good to share these things that you would never do on a first date, you know, for the sake of your safety, whatever. All right. Subscribe, like the video. I love you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All right. Bye. I don't know why I just kissed at the camera.